And of course, as the hot stove continues, Andrew Benintendi inking the biggest deal that the White Sox have issued. 5 years, $75 million. Benintendi going from Kansas City to New York. Of course, he started out with Boston as that trend of Red Sox departures continues here. But Benintendi looking for a little bit of a bounce back. Of course, he will get to spend time with one of his former coaches in Pedro Grifol, who is now with the White Sox. You take a look, though, at that overall split on the season. Pretty consistent guy, showing up for about 120 games on the season. The average dropped a little bit in New York, of course, hampered by an injury. But overall, while he is a solid player, I think this is still, maybe not the years, but the money at least, was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, it was. And for a guy, I really thought the Yankees, their postseason could have been a lot different. They really missed having a guy that could put the ball in play, work some at bats. They needed another left-handed bat down the stretch. So I know a lot of things went wrong for the Yankees in the postseason, but I think not having him in the lineup was big. And I think he's going to be a really good get for the White Sox. One of the things he brings, it's a fluke injury last year, accountability. He'll play just about every day. He'll hit, I think, in that ballpark is certainly a better ballpark than the first two-thirds of the season when he played in Kansas City. When the weather warms up in Chicago, the ball flies out of that ballpark. I think it'll be a good ballpark for him to hit in. You combine him with Luis Roberts and Gavin Sheets. Looks like he'll get more playing time probably in right field. But this is a White Sox lineup, I think, that has a chance to be better than they were last year. They were, in my opinion, the most disappointing team of the 2022 season. I thought when the season started, Alex, they were the most probable of the six divisional winners, and they just never got it going all season long.
Yeah, I think everyone expected that offense to just fire on all cylinders like they had previously, especially with the amount of talent that they have throughout that lineup, and they just were never able to get it going. They had, some issues in the pitching staff as well, and it seemed like they just kind of kept stepping on their own foot. But Benintendi, like you were saying, Melanie, I mean, am I a little surprised at the contract? I think what I'm more surprised is that's the biggest contract the White Sox have
that took me back that was the biggest.
And, Benintendi's a really good player, and I think he's going to balance out this lineup really well, from the left-hand side, provide some contact. Then it puts Jimenez in the DH spot, a little more better defense in the outfield. For sure. And like you said, he plays every single day. And, that's a big key when, you have a guy out there, you can pencil him in every single day and not have to worry about, what kind of production you're going to get, kind of player you're going to get every time. And, the Yankees did miss him. It was a noticeable difference when he was in the lineup and when he wasn't. And you could tell they could have used him in the postseason. And he's a good get for the White Sox here, kind of replacing kind of what A.J. Pollock, brought to them last year, but from the left side.
Well, and you take a look at what he's been doing so far. What I want to talk to you about this, though, is, and I'll start with you, Alex, the culture change that's going to be happening right now in Chicago. He's a career 308 in the South Side, by the way, but how big is that when you're having a new regime come in to a clubhouse that's already pretty much intact, to have a player also come with that can kind of connect that bridge between the two a little easier?
Yeah, I mean, he's a familiar face for the coaching staff, and he's a familiar face for the players to go to, to get some, insight on that coaching staff, for sure. But, Benintendi's the type of guy that, from everything that I've heard, he's seamless when he's in that clubhouse. Everybody, very likable guy. Everybody likes him, and someone that I think, it will fit in seamlessly really anywhere he goes. And, that's probably something I think that's needed going into the White Sox clubhouse. They lose Jose Abreu, who's, was their rock for so many years. Who's going to be that next guy for them to kind of step, whether it's Benintendi or someone else, on that team, to kind of take the reins that Jose, was a part of for so many years, and kind of be that guy that calms everybody when things start to snowball a little bit. So that'll be an interesting storyline to see, over the course of the year for the White Sox, because they were disappointing last year. And, not much has changed going into this year. They're getting a little bit better, or trying to get a little bit better with the Benintendi signing. So there's still a ton of talent on that team, and that Central Division is wide open for the taking.
Yeah, and I still can't for life of me understand how Dylan Cease doesn't get more play and more run in the game of baseball. You can make a case he's one of the top 5-10 pitchers in the game of baseball. He can spin it. I look at that rotation. To me, Lance Lynn and Dylan Cease, the guy they need to bounce back is Lucas Giolito. 2 years ago, he was really good. They need to keep Michael Kopech healthy. But Dylan Cease, look at that ERA, 2.20 ERA, right up there in the AL Cy Young running with Justin Verlander. Lance Lynn, a little bit of an up and down season, bouted with a little bit of a bum knee. But Lucas Giolito, to me, is going to be the key. Giolito and Clevenger. I think if Mike Clevenger can bounce back to being the guy that he was before he had the Tommy John surgery, the White Sox could be onto something. Their starting pitching needs to be better, and I think also adding Benintendi, they'll be better next year.
Yeah, there's that rotation, like you were mentioning. There's a lot of upside there, but it scares me a little bit just because of the injuries and the health. If they're able to stay healthy, then then they got a complete team right there, because that's a pretty good-looking rotation.